You know, I'm just trying to figure out why I read this. I'm on this time travel binge, and I'm gonna do in September my top 10 time travels. The top 10 books I'm recommending, and I've done videos on all of them. So you'll be able to, not only will I briefly discuss all 10 of them in that video, but then you can go back and watch each individual video. I've never seen, and if they have, it's my fault but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it where someone talks about, oh, top 10 reads the stuff about the book, but actually read it and delved into it. So by the time the video airs, my top 10, I will have actually read all 10 authors. So, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina KRSTNA. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no D music, none of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. And I've got a kid. I've caught a kid. I've caught a baby. So, how are you? We're talking about time travel today. Do you want to talk about time travel today? It's none. So, alright, let's get to this. Let me see if I can do this. Alright, so this is book one. And I went through all of my set here. And I was like, I have um all but the last one. So I've actually went and ordered the last one. So it should be here by the time I get to the last one. I'm going to read all of them. I think. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. These I love and I have all of Karen Marie Moning's through over there behind the scratching post. I have all of them. The Fae series. Karen Marie Moning is heavily into the Fae. And so we start out in the beginning of this book with the queen, the fairy queen, having a discussion with the king. And he is jealous of her attraction to this guy named Hawk. He's got a longer name, Douglas, but City, Douglas, whatever. And I'm like, I'm just going to call him the Hawk. It's just easier that way. And he decides that the only way to end the queen's fixation is to get Hawk married. So he wants Hawk to marry this girl, and she's a horrible, horrible person or crazy person or whatever. So the king goes to person A and says, your daughter is going to marry this guy, and if she doesn't marry this guy on this day, then I am going to destroy everything. And he's the fairy king, so he has the powers he's just going to wipe that whole community, the whole family, the whole right off the face of the earth. And then he goes over to the Hawk's side and gives him the same spiel. You're going to marry this girl on this date, and that's it. So the king's fool Faye Adam, we're going to call him Adam for the book, decides to little twisty in it. So what him and the king, or what he insinuates with the king, that he's going to find a woman that Hawk will fall love at first sight, just love her unconditionally at first sight. Then he's going to find a woman who is totally, absolutely, 100% incapable of loving a guy, and she's got really good reasons. Not Hawk, but just all men in general. Totally incapable of loving a guy. She's been through a horrific thing that will be just detailed later. And so then Adam, with his fairy magic, poisons the girl's father, the bride's father, and the bride's father kills his daughter. And Adam replaces the daughter with Adrian, and Adrian just drops in this guy's lap in the middle of a dinner ceremony. So the entire community, the entire castle, everybody saw this girl drop out of the earth. Everybody saw him whip this girl and tell her, for the next 24 hours, your name is Janet. Whatever you say after that is up to you. They're going to think you crazy anyway. And he whips her till she says, my name is Janet. And he marries her off to this guy, and Hawk doesn't even attend the ceremony in person. He sends a proxy. We've heard of these before. So he does that, and he takes her back to Hawk's castle and leaves her there. Doesn't show her to a room, doesn't show her inside the castle, doesn't do anything. And just so, like, she's, by the time Hawk returns, she's starving, she's cold, she hasn't been to bed, she doesn't know where to sleep, she hasn't eaten, and it's just a horrible first beginning. And she just wants him to stay away from her. Now, let's see, what did I say here? I don't remember. Let's see. Oh, so then she's trying to go. He goes, Janet, I know we didn't exactly start this marriage under the best of circumstances. Adrian. And that would definitely say that. No, my name is Sid Heath. My brother is Adrian. And she goes, most people call me her. And she goes, no. Call me Adriana or Adrian. Adrienne. And it kind of annoys the heck out of me that the author chose Adrienne as a heroine's name when the guy's brother was Adrian. They're just so close. And I'm trying to figure out, I haven't heard the audiobooks, but I'm wondering how the audiobook person handled that with the names being so close. But anyway, she lies and she goes, it's my middle name. I prefer to be calling by my middle name, so call me Adrian. So he's like, all right. And he tries to be nice to her, and she keeps telling him no. She keeps telling him no the whole book. And sometimes it's not only no, but hell no. So then she tells him that Grimm, the guy he sent as a proxy, that Hawk was too drunk to attend his own wedding ceremony. But Grimm is supposed to be this guy's best friend, and he lies an awful lot. He tries to keep the two apart on several occasions. Then she meets Hawk's mother, and Hawk's mother really, really likes her. And they actually have coffee. I did not know that coffee was around in 1513, but it obviously is. One of his ex-lovers, one of several ex-lovers, this one is Esmeralda. She's with the gypsies. She comes to claim Hawk as her own. And Hawk is like, no, I'm with Adriana. And Esmeralda tries to kill Adriana on several occasions. There's one particular occasion when she's bonding with Lydia, the mother, in the garden, and Esmeralda shoots a dart at her, and she gets infected, and she died. Well, she's supposed to die. But the king gets involved. He doesn't want it to end right away. He thinks it's unfair. And the king commands Adam to restore Adriana's life, because he wants to see the game play out, whatever that is. And again, they're having another fight after she's healed, and she's like, I'm not your wife, or at least not the one you're supposed to get. I'm from the 1990s. That's almost 500 years in the future, in case you can't add. And the name of the people is COMYN. So Calm. Calm killed his own daughter. How? I don't know, but I have my suspicions. But I haven't got the faintest idea how I ended up in his lap. But he had to marry someone to you. He said I was a godsend, so he used me. I popped in. And that's the long and the short of how I ended up getting stuck with you. And eventually he believes her. 126. So Grimm went over to the comms to investigate. And comms says, Well, first they were asking about this Eberhard. Eberhard will be revealed in the future, in the future chapters, but he was in the present. He was in the 1990s, and what he did to her was just unbelievable. But what's important here is that Grimm went to the Crom Holdings and discovered that everything Adriana said about falling in the guy's lap and appearing out of nowhere, and people thought maybe she was a witch, and her being somewhere else, and all this information was all confirmed by the other people, but no one was going to speak about it out loud. They were all going to speak about it in private because they didn't want to, stuff get out. So even Janet's mom, Lady Crom, knows who her daughter was. Was is the key word there. Several of the maids confirmed Lydia's story that the real Janet is dead. The gossip is that she was dead by her father's hand. He had to marry someone to you. Lady Crom said their clan will never breathe the word of the truth. So they know. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that she's not them. And at one point, let me just see what this is. At one point, uh Hawk gets injured by one of Esmeralda's things, and Grimm, she wants Adriana goes to see Hawk, wants to see how he is, but Grimm tells her that Hawk doesn't want to see her, and Grimm tells Hawk that Adriana doesn't want to see him. I hate those. Soap operas pull that stuff all the time, and it just drives me bonkers. I hate it, but they pull it all the time. You want to hear it from the person's face. You really, really do. So in the later chapters, it's revealed that Eberhard is having her set up. He's using her to smuggle drugs around the world. He goes, just as we planned. He told her he was in town to buy a gift for his wife. Adrian, she'll believe anything. She didn't notice a thing when he swapped her luggage. She's so lovable and gullible. You were right about it from the first, Gerard. She's the perfect pigeon. She'll never catch on to what we're doing. And what about if they try and research her background? Well, Adriana was an orphan, and he's changed the orphanage records to read that she was a juvenile delinquent with natural inclinations toward criminal behavior, and that they're setting her up to take the fall. And even one night on the way home, the cops arrested her for speeding or something like that, and she was totally 100% beaten from head to toe, and they totally ignored all her physical abuses because Eberhard told them to and paid them to. So this girl was, in an abusive relationship, and so that is why she finally escaped from the guy, and she's living on her own. We're really not told too much about her current life, her current existence, what she's doing. We do know that she lives in a house alone with a maid or a companion and her cat. That's it. We're really not told much else of her current life. Only that she was a sucker for this Eberhard guy, and what he did to her was unbelievable. And that is why she will never love a man. And so Grimm, Hawk has to go away for a couple days. Then we have a side thing that will probably take place in later books. But Lydia, his mom, and Tavis McTavis have a relationship there. The kin decides that Adriana must return to her own time. He's finished with this game. And there's like 2 or 3 pages where she goes to 1992, then she's back in 15, then she's back in 19, then she's back in 15, and the king and Adam play yo-yo with the chick for a few minutes, and a lot of people witnesses on the 15 side. So then they're really starting to believe her that she's from the future, and so he tries again to return her to the past, whatever. So then Adam comes to her and puts his foot down completely. She has consummated her relationship with the hawk. She's finally gone through with it. And Adam comes to her and blackmails her up the yin-yang. We don't know specifically what he said to her. It's left up for your imagination. But he forces her to tell Hawk face to face that she never loved him, had no intentions of staying with him, a whole bunch of horrible, rotten things. And then she sails off to the sunset with Adam. And after some stuff with Adam, she's back in her home house. So I will leave that up to you to decide. And my gal pal here at my feet, what happens. She spends all this time in the future. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me see if I can. Come here. Come here. You're sitting down there so prettily, taking a bath. You can say hi. So you'll have to read the book to find out if she returns to 15. Does he come to 1992-ish? What happens? And she's got a couple of surprises too. And what does Hawk do when he discovers about Adam and what he did? So, Hawk has got a few tricks up his sleeve too. So we'll have to read the book to find out what happens. Have a good one.